All right, as we move on to Week 7 in the Major League Baseball season, we have some offensive players making some news this week. Brian McCann came back to the Braves. So where does that leave Evan Gattis? He was a good pickup for somebody in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, for the first couple of weeks, but right now it leaves him without a position. Jason Hayward's due to return next week, so left field's out of the question. I'm not sure if he can play third base or not, but that's actually an interesting possibility, depending on how you value Juan Francisco or Chris Johnson. But as it turns out, Brian McCann's going to be the catcher. Sure, Gattis is going to spell him, but...
How many games a week you figure he gets behind the plate?
If there's 7 games during a week, Gattis maybe gets behind 2, maybe 3. But McCann's their catcher, and
right.
He's been hitting well since he's come back, too. So, you rode the streak with Evan Gattis, and now it's probably going to be time to let him go in a mixed league. And NL only, you probably hold on to him just because catching's so thin and hard to come by. But unless there's a trade, he's going to be worthless.
Now, where's McCann stand in all this? Is he the guy that he was 5 years ago when he was perhaps the best hitting catcher for a while? He was arguably the best hitting catcher.
I don't think he's a top 5 catcher or anything like that, just with the guys that we have up there right now. The Mike Napolis of the world, Buster Posey's, Willen Rosario's, all those guys are much better. But McCann can sneak into the top 10. It's not like catcher is an overload of offensive potential. So, yeah, top 10 catcher, maybe. It depends on how he hits. If he continues to hit like this, he could be the best catcher. I just don't see this keeping up.
Is he better than John Buck?
Yes, I would much rather have Brian McCann than John Buck the rest of the season.
I don't know how much time Buck has left to go here.
He has like a month left. He's not even hitting well anymore.
No. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Carlos Gomez, who is perhaps the best player in baseball. It sounds crazy, but listen to this. John Heyman sent a note out this morning that said Carlos Gomez has the best WAR at this point at 2.8. Yep. Now, I know that takes into account defense.
A lot of that is defense.
However, he's not been a slouch from an offensive standpoint by any standpoint. Let's just look at this. He's scored 22 runs, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and leading the league in hitting at 386. Pretty remarkable. I know you liked him coming in. A lot of people liked him. Nobody liked him as much as you did.
No, it's true. I saw what he did in the second half last year, and I thought it was legitimate. The advanced stats backed it up. It just seemed like a guy who broke through, and now at least I'm reaping the rewards. I hope you are too.
Ryan Braun is the second best fantasy player on his team.
Yeah, I think I would still rather have Ryan Braun for the rest of the season. But as it stands, if the power can keep up, Gomez is a top 10 outfielder, no question.
What's his line going across? How does he end up if he stays healthy?
Oh boy, it's hard to project the average because it's so high right now. So that means he's going to go through a slump if his average is going to normalize. But I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 290, 20 home runs, 40 steals, and 100 runs, 80 RBIs.
It's a good year. Good year.
Very good year, especially from where he was drafted.
All right, so that's 1 point for you. Let's give 1 point for me here. I hated Eric Hosmer coming into the year. You loved him.
He's starting to heat up.
He hit his first home run yesterday. So now we're at 1 home run, 11 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases, 10 runs scored, 277. So actually, he's average-wise, he's hitting a little better than I thought he was. So where do you see him now? Do you view him any differently than you did coming into the season, or is it just a poor start and now still you'll expect to pick up from here on out?
I think he's a nice buy low, but it just seems like you're either in the Hosmer camp or you're just the exact opposite of that, and you really hate the guy. It's hard. I'm going to amend my feelings a little bit on the subject. I don't think he's probably going to be the top 6, top 7 first baseman I thought he would be. That turns out that's Anthony Rizzo, not Eric Hosmer. But I still think that Hosmer still has extreme value, and the 2 stolen bases are encouraging just from an overall roto standpoint. And the power's gonna come. He's a huge guy. He has a nice looking swing. And like you said, the average is still there, so at least that part's encouraging. Now, if he could just hit some more line drives and fewer ground balls, we'd be all set.
Okay, all right. Now, he's got 1 home run. Fellow who has 2 home runs here. Josh Hamilton. I don't know what they're paying him.
4 home runs now.
Well, 2 home runs in a row.
2 home runs in a row.
Consecutive
All
days.
4 of his home runs have come against the Astros.
I don't know. I don't know what that says. What are they paying him per home run? But what does that say that they've all come against the Astros?
I don't know. Well, the first one they hit in the back-to-back against the Astros only went something like 360 feet. At the Minute Maid Park was the only stadium that it would have went out of. So it wouldn't even got to the warning.
You got to get over the wall.
Yeah, but it wouldn't even got to the warning track in Anaheim. So I don't know how well he's actually hitting the ball.
Know your park when you hit the ball.
I guess he's taking that into consideration when he's swinging away. But
so he's hitting 213, and that's kind of rounding up.
That's good. That's quality average. There's a reason he was on my do not draft list.
11 RBIs. Now he's going to really have to get in gear if he wants to do something. Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are they going to put him on the All-Star team?
If he gets voted in, yeah, probably. He won't get voted by the fans. He's not going to get in there by the players unless he hits 40 home runs over the next 2 weeks. I don't see that happening.
He'll get in, and somebody like Gomez will be off.
Yeah, he's not making the All-Star team this year unless the fans vote him in.
Let's move on to somebody. Well, it's actually two people that I view as one person.
Really? Are they conjoined twins?
We went on Eric Hosmer and his slow start. And would you rather have Eric Hosmer instead of Ike Davis / Adam LaRoche?
Of course,
that's one guy.
Yes,
really,
100 times.
Because they look the same when they get up.
I mean, I like Adam LaRoche significantly more than I like Ike Davis. I just don't get.
Ike Davis had an RBI yesterday.
That's very good for him. What's that? One for him now.
And the funny thing is they brought in that lefty to face him. You thought they were going to throw him the curve. He threw him the first slow curve. He waved at it. And he turned around and he said something to the catcher and the umpire. I thought he was going to say, all right, I'm good. I'm just go back to the bench, and thought he was just done. He stayed there, and they threw him a fastball.
That's
and
nonsense.
He clocked it, and he hit a double and got a run. The pitcher, the catcher, the pitching coach, they should all be fired. I don't know. So Adam LaRoche, he always starts off slow.
Yeah, he does. That's why I'm not too worried about Adam LaRoche yet. I want to see where he's standing here, probably around the middle of June. I think he's too good to pass up. I just don't think Ike Davis is all that good. I mean, you're expecting Carlos.
He started off slow and then picked it up too last year.
He did, but I've seen a bigger sample size of LaRoche doing it over Ike Davis. Ike Davis just looks like Carlos Pena to me, and he might not even hit as many home runs. So what good is he? He's just a guy who's an anchor to your average. Hosmer's not an anchor to your average right now, and his potential is just so much higher. Plus, he has the speed, and plus he plays in a much better lineup, which is more conducive to scoring runs and generating more RBIs.
Who's going to have a higher batting average, Carlos Pena or Ike Davis?
Carlos Pena. I think he's locked in at like 230
Ike Davis
right now.
or Adam Dunn?
Ooh. Maybe Ike Davis I'll go with. Adam Dunn's, what's he at, like 160? That's not very good.
Yeah, he's... Mendoza line would be good for him.
Yeah, Mendoza line would be 75% of what he's...
The funny thing was Ike Davis singled. They were playing Washington. He got to first base, and they were talking together. And you could see, Ike Davis and LaRoche talking to each other, and one was in admiration of the other just because he got on base.
Lots of jealousy there.